As many of you know, in our Legacy Virtual Users Group, we use a variety of Tuesday's tips. Whether it's a post with some images, or a recorded video, we try to share tips, suggestions, and those aha moments that we've had as we work in our genealogy and family history. All of our tips reference our use of Legacy Family Tree software because that's why we're here. We also rely on our members in the Legacy Virtual Users Group to ask or answer questions and to share tips with the rest of us. Today, I thought we could do a quick video on my love-hate relationship with Facebook, although I have to admit I'm learning to like it. Let's talk about friends, groups, and messages. Today we're revisiting my James Murphy and Ellen Kiley family. For those of you new to our Legacy Virtual Users Group community, this is one of my main families. This Legacy family view shows James, who arrived in the United States sometime in the 1850s, and Ellen, who arrived in the United States with her mother and two sisters, also in the 1850s. James and Ellen met and married in 1860. They homesteaded and raised their 7 children in Johnson County, Nebraska. Now, I've been working on this family, working forward, trying to work backward, and even working sideways, all throughout 2016. This family view shows James Murphy's brother, Pierce, who remained in Ireland, as well as their parents, Patrick Murphy and Mary McCabe. Now, as you can see, he and his wife, Ann Doran, also had 7 children. For our purposes today, let's focus on James, Mary, and Lawrence. While researching immigration, homestead, census, and property tax records, as well as personal recollections of the family members, I found that the nephews James and Lawrence came to America and homesteaded on land chosen for them and adjoining that of their Uncle James. Their sister Mary Murphy married John Burns, and they settled in a nearby community. Now, at least once a quarter, I go through my social media groups and communities, my email, and my files, whether those are in the cloud, on my laptop, and of course, those paper files. And I do a bit of cleanup. I also do this for my master lists in Legacy, but that's a separate Tuesday's tip, maybe coming next week. In any event, last week it was Facebook's turn to get cleaned up. I take a look at the groups that I'm in. I quit some groups, join others, and sometimes I review the posts in groups that are relatively quiet so I can get caught up. Normally, I look for messages as those lit up items with a number in the top right-hand corner of my Facebook homepage, but I noticed last week the messages icon listed right there below my name, over on the left-hand side. Now, when you click on messages on that Facebook homepage, you'll see recent messages, message responses, and by clicking on the more down arrow, you get unread, filtered, and archived messages. Who knew? Today we see one filtered message, but when I originally clicked on this last week, I had several. 2 of the filtered messages were from a friend who looks a little like Saint Nick, who'd seen my posts about the James Murphy family, and he had sent me a photograph of the Lawrence Murphy family with a post identifying the people in the photograph. Now, I received this message in January 2016, over a year ago. The photograph is of Lawrence Murphy and his wife, together with 9 of their children. Now, I opened my Legacy family file, and I could see that the Lawrence Murphy family he was referring to is Lawrence Murphy and Ellen Taggart. He provided the names of the children, and note here that the first and the third child had died in infancy, and the 9 children living at that time match up. Margaret, the 12th child, shows up a year later in 1894. My line back to Ireland needs work, and hopefully he can provide me with an assist. He might even be able to provide an assist for Lawrence's brother, James Murphy, and Lawrence's sister, Mary Murphy. And if any of you have family in Vesta or Tecumseh, Nebraska, in the late 1800s forward, be sure to drop me a line. Be sure to ask permission to use the personal information provided by your Facebook friends, and always credit the photographer or artist. We talked about this a little bit when I talked about the Find a Grave information that I also discovered. So why not go back to your Facebook homepage and see if you have any messages from family that might have been filtered for you by Facebook without your knowledge. You just might find some new resources for your family history. So my Tuesday's tip this week is that January is a good time to clean up your social media sites. Be sure to click around and find hidden messages or join groups that might assist you with your research. You might just find a welcome surprise. Now for me, it's a far distance from Washington to Nebraska, so social media websites and groups or communities can help bridge the distance. These are 5 examples of Facebook groups that I belong to. Newfoundlanders and Genealogy is a group run by those who live and or research Newfoundland ancestors. Nebraska State Genealogical Society Group is a group run by the State Genealogical Society. Swedish American Genealogy Group is an international group with members in Sweden and the United States that helps with research and, more importantly, translations. The Guild of One Name Studies is a family history group with members who focus on surname research and one name studies. And GenDocs is a genealogy group with members who share documents that they use with their genealogy. I really appreciate that group because there are so many different types of documents, whether those are PDF, Excel spreadsheets, or Word documents. Now, each group has members who can answer questions, share information and photographs, and provide tips for research and resources. Some groups are open, and that basically means that anyone can go on to the group, check through any of the posts, and join. And other groups are closed. You need to ask to join, and then you're accepted. January is the start of a new year for all of us to learn more about our software, Legacy Family Tree, from a variety of sources. There's the Legacy Virtual Users Group community here on Google+. There's the Legacy User Group on Facebook that is run by Millennia. There are the special interest groups on social media, and there's the Legacy Family Tree webinars hosted by Millennia. Why not take advantage of all these resources to get the most out of Legacy Family Tree software? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here next week for another Tuesday's tip.